made some really cool builds over chapter 2, and with chapter 2 coming to an end, I had to make sure my last chapter 2 build was really big. So what's bigger than making an entire planet and even making a little mini game around it? So today I'm going to show you exactly what I did to build Planet Fortnite from the very start to the very finish. I'm really proud of this build and I cannot wait for chapter 3. Let's go. First, I needed to set up the globe of the planet. To do this, I set up some guides using the ring galleries, and then I needed to do a series of circle tricks, but the setup is really difficult. Let me show you. Okay, once you've got your guide set up, let me show you how to do this. So you get your first piece of water or whatever material you want. You line it up perfectly centered, like on this, exactly how you want it. And then you just copy this, bring it out flush with the edge, and then you take it off grid snap, and then just angle it a little bit down, put it back on grid snap, and then you can just line it up where you want. And then you just keep doing that all the way around the curve of this structure. It's gonna take a while as you go all the way down, but that's the process. Just make sure as you're doing this, you're always checking your guides, making sure you're close to the edge of this metal ring. And this is gonna be a nice good circle when it's done. Just gonna take a while to do this, but it'll be worth it. Then you copy this one side that you've set up and copy it to the exact opposite side so that it's nice and straight. Then you take all of that, make sure you're standing in the middle, and then you just rotate it and paste it down as much as you can. Okay, so at this point, guys, you can see we've got a lot of gaps. So all I do is just go and copy one of the strands and then get the corresponding strand that's on the other side. And then I just copy that as selected and then just fill in the gaps where there are gaps. And now you can see those gaps are starting to fill in. Then you just keep doing that over and over again until the whole world is filled in. All right, top half is looking pretty good. It's actually quite a bit smoother than I thought it was gonna be. I was expecting to have more lines in here. This looks awesome. Okay, bottom half, let's go. Doing the bottom half is just repeating the exact same steps that you did on the top half, and it all comes together. Okay, there we go, guys. You have our water world here, although it's really shiny. I know when you put the water vertical like that, it has this stringy effect, but up top it looks awesome. Doing it down below, it looks so good. I have one little hole here at the top and the bottom of the world. You can fall straight through all the way down to the South Pole. There it is. I think I should fill this in probably. All right, we got to plug up this hole in the ocean here, and boom, there we go. It's all right. Step 1 done. All right, now that I've got my globe, I want to start putting some actual land on this. So I'm probably going to use this piece right here, which is in all of the different terrain galleries as my base terrain piece. All right, here's our different terrain pieces I think I want to use for my different biomes. Now let's just start placing some of them down. I started with the southern polar ice cap, and using this one piece was working okay, I guess. It definitely looks okay for a frozen tundra at the bottom of the planet, and I built a sand biome at the very top of the planet, which looked pretty good. But then I moved to the middle of the planet and started placing the grass pieces down, and I just didn't really love how it was looking, so I tried to come up with another solution. I tried to use a cool new terrain trick that I saw by Mad Moods on Twitter, but that didn't work for this build. And then I thought of this. So I've just taken this piece right here, and I'm gonna create another terrain piece. It's just a bit bigger. It might make this go faster and actually look a little bit better. If it actually looks better is to be determined, but I want to speed this up a bit. Okay, there we go. That's not bad. Let's see how this looks up here. Oh no! Ah, dang it! I can't cheat this. Why do these textures change colors when they're vertical? I hate that. This is so annoying. Well, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. So I couldn't cheat the terrain here, and it looked a little bit jaggedy, and I was starting to feel a little bit insecure about this, and I almost wanted to give up at this point, but I knew I had to make this work. So I fought through those insecurities and just kept building it out. I started copying and pasting the terrain pieces and adjusting them a little bit around the different parts of the world, and it actually started to come together. I knew I could cover up some of the blockiness of the terrain with rock pieces and bushes and grass pieces, things that just made it look a little bit better, but I didn't want to get too carried away with doing this yet. Okay, well, I need to start putting some points of interest on this, even though I haven't completely finished all the terrain. I feel like if I get the points of interest on it, then I can kind of fill in the gaps around it. All right, so here's my plan with points of interest. I'm gonna place it down, and then I kind of need to shrink it because this is way too huge. It's almost as big as the entire Earth there, so I have to shrink it down. What I'm gonna do then is I'm just gonna pull each piece off here, shrink it down as far as it can go, and then remake it, but just teeny tiny. Now this wasn't the easiest thing to do because not everything lines up perfectly, so I just had to do the best I could, and then I went and rebuilt it fully up on top of my planet, and while it's a little bit scuffed, it was good enough. But then I had to delete the old Coliseum. Oh my gosh, Epic. You guys have got to come up with a better way to delete things. I've been deleting the Coliseum for like 10 minutes. I should be able to just like highlight everything I want and then hit delete and then undo as well. Because if I didn't want to delete it, that stinks too. Okay, that's finally deleted. I then had to shrink down a bunch of other points of interest, including Coral Castle, a medieval castle. I shrunk down the office buildings to be little cities around the map. I shrunk Dusty Depot, the Red Research Facilities, and just a generic house. I placed them all over the world in different areas, and then I filled in more rocks and grass, and I even made little forests all over the planet. Finally, I threw in a few boats and submarines to give a little character to the oceans. Okay, there we go, guys. Woo, that took a lot more work than I thought. I don't know, it looks pretty cool though with the cities. I got like Dusty Depot here, we got a castle, we got Coral Castle, got cool little forests and submarines, and of course the Coliseum at the top of the world, houses and stuff all over. I think this looks pretty cool. All right, now we just got to make some space around it. So I took a few minutes to throw in some barriers with the Starfield effect on it, and the aesthetic build was done. Okay, I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out, but I want to make like a little mini game for this. I kind of want to have like alien ships that can come in and like destroy the little houses and cities, and as you destroy it, you get like a score, and then once you've destroyed the entire world, you win the game. Okay, let's make it. So I decided to make a little enforcer where you could launch off with your alien ships and go and destroy some buildings, but I ran into some issues. There's like a height restriction on the alien ships. What the heck? This is as high as you can drive now. Since when is that a thing? Like, this is as high as I can get with the alien ship right now. I can't like even get close to the top of my build here. What the heck, Epic? Why would you put a height restriction on the UFOs? That's so dumb. Okay, I have another idea. My second idea was to give the player flight and a plasma gun where they can then go and destroy the structures around the planet. But I discovered the plasma cannon destroys the water terrain as well. What the heck? Since when is water destructible? I tried turning environment damage off and that worked for the water, but then you couldn't destroy any of the buildings. So I decided we had to change to rockets, which word is cool, but it'll have to do. So I set up triggers all over the map that when they were damaged, it activated a tracking device which tracks how many times that trigger is activated. Once you hit 20 of the triggers around the map, the endgame device is activated and tells you you are the destroyer of worlds. So I made this a team game so you can come in with 4 players that is co-op. They're trying to destroy the 20 targets together. You can see the prompt here. We must destroy the inhabitants of Planet Fortnite to usher in the next chapter. Go and destroy. And you can see when you hit the target, you get a little target destroyed message, and yeah, you can just have fun blowing up my planet here. I'm so hyped for chapter 3, and I can't wait to see what we get as we turn a new page in Fortnite Creative. Let's go!